Dear viewers, welcome to Sip and Chat. My name is Ateny, and today I'm here to briefly talk to you about the incidences that are happening. For the last few days, we have seen a lot of issues. We have seen a lot of changes in our government, and we are here to talk about one specific change, and that is the removal of our Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Agak Achuil, who is one of the people that has shown some changes during his tenure in the office. And today I would like to repackage what happened to Honorable Agag and why exactly he lost his position when it comes to government policy or nature of business in South Sudan. Allow me to say that these are my views, my opinions, and they do not represent any organization. Let's start. Three issues that led to the firing of Honorable Minister of Finance, which goes against the nature of business that this government has. So I would like to start with the first one. If you want to stay longer in the government of South Sudan, don't don't talk to the public, don't be accountable to the people. And Agak, when he came into the government, he will go down in history as one of the people, one of the ministers who felt like he should be held accountable by the public. And this offended a lot of cartels in the government. And this has also created him a lot of enemies. And if I say cartels, there are people in the government that are very powerful, that call the shots when it comes to big decisions, whether in the government or behind us. Most of them are not active politicians or do not hold any portfolio in the government, but believe me, they are very powerful. And if you go against their opinions or their views or their decisions, of course, you won't last longer. So one mistake that Agag did was to be accountable to the people, the public, which has never been the case in the history of the government of South Sudan. No government official, apart from Honorable Agag, who has been so transparent and accountable as much as we have seen. So that was the one mistake he did. You've seen some other ministers and government officials who do not account to anybody. And of course, they feel like, government is their own business and the public is not mandated or is not supposed to know what they are doing. Agag came in and changed that policy or that mindset. And he started talking about issues that affects, the public in different ways. This, caused him a lot of, issues with the government. And that led to the fact that he came out and apologized for being taken out of context. And of course, if you look at it, it was not being taken out of the context. If you look at the video, the body language was different from what Honorable Agag was saying. So that was the first mistake. He was too much accountable to the public. The second mistake that he did was being committed to change. South Sudanese, our government do not want change. There are people who want to be there for life, but doing nothing. And I know of some ministers who have never, gone home in any of the series of interventions or government policies we have. They've been there since the signing of CPA. But if you ask them what they have done, what can they register in their names? So that tomorrow, if they go home, they will have things to be proud of, as achievements. There's nothing. So that commitment that Achuil came with has also cost him his job. He was too committed to change. He wants the change to come. He wants transparency to be there. He wants government policies to be reviewed. He wants financial policies, SOPs, to be addressed. And that has cost him his job. That's number two. The third one is not resigning. If I was a Achuil, I would have resigned a long time ago, especially when he disclosed the mortgaging of our oil until 2020 something. It became a challenge because he was conflicting with a lot of people, given the fact that he came out and disclosed something that the public was not aware of. So that also, if I was him, I would have resigned. The fact that he has not resigned has also led to the fact that he was kicked out. Because if you know that you are employed and you're not given a chance to, to execute, the things that would bring change to your institution, the best he would have done was to step aside and restore his legacy. Regardless, nevertheless, Agak Achuil will remain in our history as one of the ministers who tried to be transparent as much as possible. That no one can take it from him. And of course, as you know, he has cost him his job, but still, he will go down in history as one of the people that have come out and try to commit to transparency, try to commit to change some policies, at the Ministry of Finance. And I'm told some people who used to, scoop money at the ministry were not able to do so. And they gang up against him, and that cost him his job. But still, he did the right thing. The only mistake he did was not to resign earlier before he was kicked out. As this kind of a legend who have kept his head very high and worked hard to make sure at least people are held accountable, and also himself trying to communicate, to the public, to tell them what is happening at the ministry, what government is doing, was really very great. It has cost him his job. I hope, the social media criminals will one day remember Achuil as one of people who showed them what is happening inside government businesses. And it has opened doors for public to start questioning government actions, which also include the issue of dredging. Public started knowing that there are some shady deals that are being done behind closed doors that we're not seeing. And Agak Achuil became a whistleblower within the government. And there's no government that needs somebody who will expose them within. So he was kicked out. Another developing story is that the press secretary, we know him, all of us, as Ateny. Finally, after 9 years, he's out. He was fired. And for those who didn't know who Ateny was the author, was the columnist. He had a column called Beating the Drum of Truth. And when the job came calling at J1, Ateny threw away the drum with all the sticks and ran to J1. So unfortunately, on Friday, the president got enough of him and he was relieved. Now we don't know whether he's going to pick up the drum. Is he going to start beating the drum? And let me tell you this, Ateny was one of the people who was really inspiring South Sudanese during citizens' time. And he was doing a lot of things in the newspaper, writing about South Sudan government, writing about issues of concern. And you find that most of South Sudanese used to glue to the newspapers to read his articles. Unfortunately, when the job came calling, Ateny threw away the drum and ran to J1, then turned against the same people that he was telling the stories of what is happening. And when he was kicked out, he thanked the president for firing him, and also, pledged his loyalty and his commitment to the party and to the government. So don't be surprised to see Ateny coming back as something else. Of course, it's a rotational process whereby you are removed, you go and lobby, you come back in and all that. But we're still going to see whether Ateny is going to pick up the drum and start beating it again, and whether or not it is going to be the drum of truth, because I cannot tell. I don't even know that the drum is still there, but of course, let's watch this space. Let's see what is next for Ateny. Otherwise, we wish you all the best, guys, for your time in the government. Honorable Agak, South Sudanese, privileged South Sudanese might not know what you meant to us, the social media criminals. But I would like to say on my own behalf that you have chosen the right path. And we hope His Excellency will bring you one day, will bring you back at least to execute some changes. And the few weeks you spent, the few years you spent at the Ministry of Finance, I hope they will not be wrapped off and we start again from zero. Otherwise, that is the trending issues of this week. A lot of firing, and not forgetting the fact that the government business is extended for 2 years again. And of course, we are going through the same thing, but it's not a big deal. As long as we have peace, we know very well, if we are given peace, then we are happy. If they disagree, we suffer. So now that they have agreed and joined hands to work together for another 2 years, we are good. As long as we don't create chaos again. All the SPLMs in their factions, have united at some point to extend the lifeline of this Artigonu, which is quite interesting. And of course, it's good for the government, it's good for the operation. But the question is, what are we going to do within these 2 years? What are we going to be doing within these 2 years? That should be the question. Otherwise, we wish the government all the best. We wish those who are removed from the positions, wish them good luck. I don't know why people always feel like government positions are the only thing. At least now, if someone is relieved from the government, why can someone also apply for other jobs if you're that qualified, instead of hoping that you'll be called back anytime soon? I don't think it's the right thing. If I'm working in the government for 10 years or 5 years and then I'm relieved by the president, why not have experience? I've worked for 5 years. I can also apply for another job or even look for other things to do. And this has contributed to the conflict we have because everyone wants to still come back to the government. It's the only source of living. It's the only place that people can still work from, which is not the case. There are so many businesses on the street. There are so many job opportunities. And if you're that qualified, if you can work in the government, that means you're very qualified. And that also means if your job in the government office is done, is finished, or you are fired for any reason, or you are relieved, I would wish to see one time that a government official who is relieved from his job is doing something outside. I would also like to mention the former governor of Jonglei State, who was a governor, and then he was after the 28th state, he was removed, and is now lecturing at Juba University. And I know of some few government officials who have decided to also, use the other skills to earn a living and also to create impact in their own separate ways. So basically, to reduce the level of, disagreements and, rebellions, let's also understand that if the government job is done, we also venture into other things and live our lives, because government job is not permanent. There's no government job that is permanent, whether in South Sudan or across the globe. So otherwise, Honorable Agak, we are proud of you, and I hope you will get something else to do. You are a legend. You have shown us that you are accountable to us as South Sudanese. That's one thing that will go down in history. Only government official who is too transparent with the public. Thank you so much. My name is Ateny. I'm the host for Sip and Chat. And today also we're trying our new outlook on all the pages. And give us your comment on how it is. If it is okay like this, then we should continue. Otherwise, thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do hit the subscribe button and support us. Over the week, we had a couple of programs that we're going to upload in the coming few days. But also, we're going to be having series of interviews over the coming week to discuss issues of social concern among our communities, and also to talk about issues of of interest among the youth. So otherwise, thank you and have a wonderful weekend.